Wait, did he really just say that to you? That is a total red flag, girl. I honestly cannot believe you didn't see that coming from a mile away. I know. But I really thought he was just being protective and caring about me. Now, looking back at the whole situation, it was definitely way more about control and manipulation. I feel so incredibly naive right now.
Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Maya. Today, we are tackling a topic that is absolutely everywhere on social media right now, and it's essential for navigating modern relationships, friendships, and even the workplace. We are talking about red flags.
And I'm Alex. Traditionally, a red flag was a literal warning sign used on beaches to indicate dangerous swimming conditions, or on a racetrack to stop a race. But in modern English, it has become the ultimate metaphor for danger ahead in social situations. Today, we aren't just acting as your dating coaches. We are giving you the high-level English vocabulary, slang, and idioms you desperately need to identify and talk about these complex interpersonal dynamics.
That's exactly right, Alex. Our main goal today is to help you dramatically improve your listening comprehension, while simultaneously teaching you powerful modern words like gaslighting, negging, and love bombing. These are not just trendy internet slang words, they are specific psychological terms that native English speakers use every single day to describe toxic behavior.
We have a very juicy, dramatic dialogue coming up between two friends, Sarah and Chloe, who are essentially performing a post-date autopsy on a recent romantic encounter that went horribly, horribly wrong.
After the dialogue, we will jump into our massive language takeaway section, where we break down specific red flags and provide multiple real-world examples for each. By the end of this episode, you will be able to spot a red flag from a mile away and call it out in perfect, natural English. Let's get right into the story.
Okay, Sarah, I have been waiting all morning for this. Spill the tea. How was the highly anticipated second date with Mark? I saw the photos you posted on Instagram. He looks like a total catch.
Honestly, Chloe, I am feeling a bit uneasy about the whole thing. Actually, uneasy is a massive understatement. I am completely drained. It started off great, but then things got really, really weird. He spent the entire first hour of the night love bombing me. He's already talking about booking a summer trip to Italy together, and he kept saying how he thinks I'm the one.
Whoa, back up. Hold on a second. You have only known the guy for exactly 2 weeks. That is a textbook red flag. That is way too much affection, way too soon. It's a classic manipulation tactic to overwhelm your logic with extreme emotion, so you ignore his bad traits. Did he actually listen to anything you said during dinner?
Not really, no. Whenever I tried to talk about my career goals or my recent promotion at the marketing firm, he would completely gaslight me. He actually said I was misremembering how hard I worked on that campaign and that I was just lucky the client liked it. He twisted my words so much that he made me feel like my own reality wasn't real. It was so subtle that I almost started to believe him.
Sarah, that is incredibly toxic, and it sounds like he was negging you too. Did he make those horrible little comments that are disguised to feel like compliments but actually hurt your feelings?
Yes, exactly that. He looked at my outfit and said, "You are actually quite smart for someone who obviously spends so much time and money on their hair." I was completely stunned. I literally didn't know how to react, so I just nervously laughed it off. But then it got worse. He showed his absolute main character syndrome.
Oh no, what did he do?
We went to that fancy new Italian place downtown, and because the waiter took maybe 5 minutes to bring the check, Mark started shouting. He snapped his fingers at the waiter and acted like the entire restaurant was built just to serve his personal ego. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Girl, listen to me. That is not just a red flag, that is a whole parade of red flags. He's breadcrumbing you by giving you just enough flashy attention to keep you interested while acting like a total nightmare. You need to ghost him immediately, or at least send a very firm, cold, "it's not working out" text message. Do not let him manipulate you into staying.
Wow, Sarah really dodged a massive bullet there. That date sounded like a complete disaster from start to finish. Now, let's deeply break down the language, because these terms are incredibly common in everyday English-speaking media, podcasts, and casual conversations right now. We have 5 major red flag phrases to cover today.
Let's start with phrase number 1, love bombing. This is a compound noun. Love bombing is when someone gives you an overwhelming, suffocating amount of affection, expensive gifts, or excessive praise very early in a relationship to gain influence and control over you. It's about securing power, not showing genuine love. For example, you might say, after only 3 dates, he bought her a diamond necklace and texted her 50 times a day. It felt incredibly overwhelming, and it was obvious love bombing. Or, she was calling me her soulmate after 1 week. I had to step back because it was total love bombing.
Excellent explanation. Phrase number 2 is gaslighting. This is a verb, and it describes a severe form of psychological manipulation where a person makes you doubt your own perceptions, memories, or even your sanity. It comes from an old play and movie called Gaslight. For example, you could say, "My boss tried to gaslight me by saying he never promised me a promotion, even though I have his exact words saved in an email." Another example is, "When I confronted him about being 3 hours late, he gaslit me into thinking I had originally given him the wrong time."
Moving on to phrase number 3, negging. This comes from the word negative. Negging is the act of giving someone a backhanded compliment. It's a deliberate insult disguised as a compliment, meant to lower your self-esteem so you become insecure and seek the other person's validation and approval. For instance, he was negging me when he said my presentation was surprisingly articulate for an intern. Or, stop negging her. If you like her, just give her a real, genuine compliment instead of trying to make her feel bad.
Phrase number 4 is breadcrumbing. Think of the old fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel leaving crumbs of bread in the forest. Breadcrumbing is when someone sends sporadic, non-committal messages or gives you tiny bits of attention just to keep you interested, without ever intending to commit to a real friendship or relationship. For example, he hasn't asked me out on a proper date in a month, but he constantly watches my stories and likes my photos. He is definitely just breadcrumbing me. Or, I am so tired of the constant breadcrumbing. I want to date someone who is actually emotionally available.
And finally, phrase number 5, main character syndrome. This is a modern internet slang term. It describes a person who views themselves as the absolute protagonist or star of the movie of life, while treating everyone else around them as background characters or extras. They completely lack empathy for others' experiences. For example, my coworker has such severe main character syndrome. She talked loudly about her weekend for an hour and didn't ask a single person how they were doing. Or, the way that customer treated the poor barista was a classic, embarrassing case of main character syndrome.
Those are fantastic phrases to add to your vocabulary arsenal. But to truly sound natural, fluent, and modern when discussing these topics with native speakers, you need to master a very specific modern slang sentence construction. It's giving.
That is incredibly popular right now. It's giving is used to describe the overall vibe, feeling, or essence of a situation, a person, or an object. It is a shortened version of "it is giving me the impression of," but native speakers now exclusively just say "it's giving."
Exactly. For example, if you see someone wearing a glamorous, sparkly 1920s outfit, you could simply say, "It's giving Great Gatsby." In the specific context of spotting red flags, if someone is acting very suspicious or controlling, you don't need a long explanation. You might just look at your friend and say, "It's giving shady," or "It's giving massive red flag."
It is a wonderfully versatile and punchy phrase. You can use it for positive things too, like saying, "It's giving main character energy," in a supportive way when your friend looks exceptionally confident. But usually, in the context of calling someone out for bad behavior, it's a quick, humorous way to label a situation without needing to formulate a full, complex grammatical sentence. Using "it's giving" perfectly shows that you are completely up to date with current Gen Z and millennial English trends.
So Alex, we've talked a lot about dating today, but red flags happen everywhere. Have you ever missed a major red flag in a friendship or professional environment?
Oh, absolutely. I think workplace red flags are sometimes even harder to spot than dating ones. A few years ago, I had an interview for a marketing agency. The manager enthusiastically told me, "We don't just work together here, we are literally like a family." Looking back, that is a gigantic professional red flag.
Oh no, the classic "we are a family" trap. Why do you think you ignored that warning sign for so long?
I think it was because I was fresh out of university and I really desperately wanted the job to work out. When you are deeply in it, you tend to rationalize bad behavior. My boss would come to my desk at 5:30 p.m. and say, "Hey, we're all in this together. Can you stay until 9 p.m. to finish this urgent report for me?" And because I bought into that toxic family narrative, I felt an immense amount of guilt saying no. I felt like I was betraying my siblings. It usually just means they expect you to work endless overtime for free.
That is the ultimate trap. It is pure emotional manipulation disguised as workplace camaraderie. I had a very similar experience with an old college friend who was what I like to call a chronic breadcrumber. She would literally only text me when she needed a huge favor, like helping her move apartments. But she would always frame it as, "Oh my God, I miss you so much. We desperately have to catch up." As soon as I physically helped her, she would completely disappear and ignore my texts for 6 months.
The fake "I miss you" breadcrumb is the absolute worst. It momentarily makes you feel valued, but then you quickly realize you're just a tool for their convenience. Honestly, learning these specific English terms actually helped me set firm personal boundaries. Once I could mentally label her behavior as breadcrumbing, it completely lost its emotional power over me. I could say to myself, "Oh, she's just doing that toxic thing again," and I wouldn't get my hopes up or feel bad about saying no.
That is such a profound point, Alex. Language truly is power. When you possess the exact vocabulary to describe a toxic situation, you are no longer a confused victim of it. You become an empowered observer. Let's do a quick final review of the core red flags we covered today: love bombing, gaslighting, negging, breadcrumbing, and main character syndrome.
And please do not forget our essential fluency tip, the phrase "it's giving." Use it confidently to describe the vibes and energy you encounter in your daily life. We sincerely hope this deep dive episode helps you not only with your English fluency, but also in protecting your peace in your personal and professional life.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the English Learning Podcast. Keep practicing your listening skills, trust your intuition, and we will see you in the very next episode.